Have you ever thought about this? If a crime happens online, how do you actually prove it in court? I mean, anyone can edit a file, delete a message, or manipulate digital data. So when something is presented as evidence, how does a court decide whether it can be trusted or completely rejected? Welcome to Bluehat Cybersec Academy. Today, we're diving into a critical concept in cyber law and digital investigations: evidence admissibility in cyber cases. What courts accept. Let's begin with the introduction to this topic. In today's digital age, crimes are no longer limited to physical spaces. From hacking and identity theft to online fraud and data breaches, cybercrimes have become increasingly common and complex. But here's a critical question. How do courts decide what digital evidence can actually be trusted? Unlike traditional evidence, digital data can be easily altered, copied, or manipulated. This makes the process of admitting such evidence in court both crucial and challenging. In this session, we'll explore what evidence admissibility means in cyber cases, the legal standards courts follow, the types of digital evidence accepted, and the challenges involved in proving authenticity. Now, to understand this better, let's first talk about what evidence admissibility actually is. So let's start with the basics. Evidence admissibility refers to the legal criteria that determine whether a piece of evidence can be presented and accepted in a court of law. In cyber cases, this includes digital records such as emails, logs, files, and electronic communications. For evidence to be admissible, it must meet certain conditions, including relevance, authenticity, reliability, and legality of collection. If these conditions are not met, the court may reject the evidence regardless of its importance. Moving forward, let's look at the types of digital evidence that courts may accept in cyber cases. Courts may accept various forms of digital evidence, depending on the case. Electronic documents, emails, PDFs, Word files, and spreadsheets used as proof of communication or transactions. System logs, logs generated by servers, applications, or networks showing user activity and system events. Metadata, data about data such as timestamps, file origin, and modification history. Digital images and videos, photos, CCTV footage, and screen recordings. Social media content, posts, messages, comments, and profiles from platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or X. Mobile data, call records, SMS, chat logs, and app data from smartphones. Key legal principles. Now that we understand the types, let's explore the key legal principles that determine admissibility. To ensure fairness and accuracy, courts rely on several principles when evaluating digital evidence. Relevance. The evidence must be directly related to the case. Authenticity. It must be proven that the evidence is genuine and has not been altered. Integrity. The evidence must remain intact from the time it was collected to its presentation in court. Chain of custody. A documented record showing who handled the evidence, when, and how. Legality. The evidence must be obtained through lawful means. Role of forensic experts. At this point, it's important to understand the role of forensic experts in this entire process. Digital forensic experts play a crucial role in cyber cases. They are responsible for collecting and preserving digital evidence, analyzing data using specialized tools, ensuring integrity and authenticity, and presenting findings in a clear and understandable manner. Their expertise helps courts understand technical aspects and validate the reliability of evidence. Legal frameworks and standards. Now let's take a look at the legal frameworks and standards that govern digital evidence. Different countries have specific laws governing digital evidence. In many jurisdictions, electronic records are recognized as valid evidence. Digital signatures and certificates may be used to verify authenticity. Laws often define procedures for collecting and handling electronic evidence. For example, the Indian Evidence Act, Section 65B, deals with admissibility of electronic records. International standards also influence how digital evidence is handled. Challenges. Well, admitting digital evidence is not always straightforward, and there are several challenges involved. Despite advancements, several challenges exist. For instance, data manipulation is a big concern. Digital evidence can be altered without leaving obvious traces. Then there's the lack of awareness. Judges and lawyers may not always fully understand technical details, which can complicate things. Cross-border issues also come into play, since data stored in different countries may be subject to different laws. And let's not forget the volume of data. Large amounts of digital data can be difficult to analyze and present. Plus, privacy concerns are always there. balancing evidence collection with individual privacy rights can be, well, quite complex. So, how do we ensure that digital evidence is actually accepted in court? Let's talk about best practices. To improve the chances of evidence being accepted in court, the following practices are important. Use proper forensic tools and methods. Maintain a clear chain of custody. Document every step of evidence handling. Ensure compliance with legal requirements. And of course, avoid unauthorized access or tampering. Now let's understand how all of this impacts cyber investigations in the real world. Evidence admissibility directly affects the outcome of cyber cases. Even strong evidence can be rejected if it is not handled properly. This makes it essential for investigators, organizations, and legal professionals to follow strict procedures. So looking ahead, let's briefly explore the future trends in this area. As technology evolves, the legal system is also adapting. Future developments may include improved digital forensic techniques, standardized global frameworks for evidence handling, greater use of artificial intelligence in analyzing digital evidence, and, enhanced training for legal professionals. So as we begin to wrap this up, let's move toward the conclusion and bring it back to you. In a world where digital data can be easily created, copied, or manipulated, how do we ensure justice is based on truth? Evidence admissibility in cyber cases is a critical aspect of modern justice systems. It ensures that only reliable, authentic, and legally obtained evidence is considered in court. And honestly, as cybercrimes continue to rise, the importance of proper evidence handling and legal compliance will only grow. And before we close, here's a final thought to leave you with. In the digital world, evidence is everywhere. But only the evidence that is properly collected, preserved, and presented truly counts in the eyes of the law. Understanding this is key to navigating the intersection of technology and justice. Before you go, test your understanding. What are the 4 key conditions required for evidence to be admissible in cyber cases? What is the role of the chain of custody in digital evidence? Why is authenticity important when presenting digital evidence in court? Can illegally obtained digital evidence be accepted in court? Why or why not? Take a moment, think about it, or share your answers in the comments. And if this session gave you a clearer understanding of how courts evaluate digital evidence in cyber cases, take a moment to support the channel by liking this video, sharing it with others who want to understand cyber law, and subscribing to Bluehat Cybersec Academy. Also, don't forget to explore our cyber law, governance, and compliance playlist, where we break down complex legal and cybersecurity concepts into simple, practical insights. Stay informed, stay aware, and keep strengthening your understanding of the digital world. I'll see you in the next session.